What's up, everybody? Today we are reviewing Ka's new album that dropped last week out of nowhere. Brooklyn MC, Brownsville, Brooklyn MC. Ka, you know, what can I say? If people love Rock Marciano or think Rock Marciano is, which I do, I think he's a legend in the game. I remember him from the Flip Mode Squad days. Ka from, Natural Elements. So he's been in the game a long time, and almost like a myth. Like Rock Marciano drops albums, but he's been appearing a little bit more often on things, hence Bodie James' last album, and he'll be doing some stuff with Flea Lord. But Ka's even more of a myth. He dropped a video off the album. You rarely, if any interviews, he dropped an album, Descendants of Cain. He has a Samurai joint before that. But he's not somebody who just, you see out there. So he dropped the album out, for download only. You had to pay $20. I paid for the album. It's not on Apple Music, Spotify, or any of that. So if you're a fan, you purchased the album, hopefully. And I sat back with it for a week, and I'm reviewing it today. And let me tell you, man, before I probably wasn't giving this dude a chance as far as his flow. I listened to the albums. I've never reviewed nothing from him. And it's not, and I think that's on me. That's not on him. That's just, maybe where my mind was at the time. Unorthodox. The beats are very unorthodox. When I listen to this album, maybe it's just what I needed to hear at the time. He's speaking to you. Like, he's really talking to you. If you guys do not know what a martyr is, it's somebody who is killed for their own beliefs, or they sacrifice themselves for what they believe in. And so the album is like a big revenge movie where he's getting revenge on the people who have done him wrong, or the system, or just society in a whole. And this album makes me want to go back and just listen to him, because he doesn't have a flow or a voice. His voice is very distinct, but it's not something that is compared to anybody in the industry. The closest thing would be from Rock Marciano, but he's not as street. He's more of a poet. He doesn't give the beats any time to breathe on this album. Like, no time to breathe on this album. It's just line after line after line after line after line. And I mean, he reminds me of like a battle rapper. Like how he's rapping, he's almost like he's talking to you. And the style is very, very precise and clean, and he doesn't waste any time with what he's saying. He has songs called Sad to Say, which is an in-depth track where he's talking about how he's had a rough life, but people are happy to hear it. And just the beat on that is so eerie and so prolific. And what he's saying, he's one of the most prolific rappers in the game. And I don't know if I think from the underground, like, I think he's somebody who's really underground. You have to be in the know, I think, to really appreciate Ka, or have an ear and really like hip hop and like lyrics, and the beats don't have to be the forefront. Because I would say this, the beats for me, like Rock Marciano, if I'm comparing Rock Marciano's beats that he raps on, I like those. I mess with those. I can listen to those without Rock Marciano. When it comes to Ka, the beats play the background. Ka's voice, his lyrics are the forefront. He's talking about he got a song where he's talking about he needs all of that, which is very reminiscent like a Brooklyn stick-up kid. And it also goes hand in hand with a martyr, as far as the revenge part, where he's coming back. He already sacrificed what he needs. Now he's talking about he needs his soul. He needs things that people took from him, whether that's society, the industry, white man, just everything that anybody ever took from him. He wants all of that back. Like, run that, right? And it's a real Brooklyn song, but it's not like your typical, like, Biggie or MOP. It doesn't stick. The beat It's not knocking you in the head. It's the lyrics. What he's saying is very Brooklyn, very, very, very Brooklyn. He has there's a skit that sums this album up perfectly. I don't know who's speaking at it. I want to say Maya Angelou, but I'm probably wrong. Or Angela Davis, but I'm probably wrong. Where the person says the people who do not speak out, the artists, are probably happier. And the album Martyr's Revenge, speaking of talking about people who sacrifice their own lives or say things when others don't want to, and whether they're sacrificing their career, their life, for their beliefs, and whether they're killed for that, either literally or just in the industry. I found that interesting to go with the theme of the album, just the names of the songs he's talking about, and then just at the end of the song, she's saying, you know, the people who don't speak out are probably the happiest, where he's coming out and he's, you know, talking about what he believes in, what he believed in, how he was raised, and how he maybe he's talking about his career, maybe the stuff he talks about, or his style. Maybe he has sacrificed his, you know, greater acknowledgement in the game because he's doing what he wants to do. This man is a firefighter for New York City, right? Like, he has a career outside of music. I might say that he's probably making more money off of his career than his music. So he's really music. He says what he wants to say, and he's probably sacrificed a whole bunch of stuff and accolades because of that, and how he's at peace with that. We Living Like a Martyr's a dope song, dope change a beat in the song. He has lines like, a lot of dope lines, like just dope lines. He only takes shots, none assisted. Was built with humility. Was built with humility when none existed. Then he has, you know, with all my heart, you ain't living premier. If you living in fear, enough praise. Where he says from a stable house, this is how a field trip. Sometimes I didn't want to build, I just wanted to deal bricks. That same song doesn't give the same song is like, that song is one of my favorite songs. Enough praise. Them girls you couldn't bone unless you gave them bonuses. I mean, and another one of my favorite songs, Having Nothing gave me everything I need. I really relate to that song as somebody who believes in growing up with my circumstances gave me everything I need later on in life. And I think that's another thing about, you know, the sacrifices he's made and being a martyr. And now those sacrifices that he's paid is giving him everything he needs in life now. And the album just is really full circle. 13 dope songs. Came out of nowhere. Dropped Thursday, Friday night? I want to say Thursday. And I seen it on Twitter. I was just scrolling through Twitter, and out of nowhere, it was just, Kai album. I'm like, okay. Downloaded it. And I noticed the album, it said 9/8/20. So seems like it may have been put together last year during the pandemic. And then he's just releasing this almost a year later, right? I think, like I said, I'm going to go back and really listen to Descendants of Cain. I had watched a Dead End Hip Hop review last year, and Mike and a few others were really big in the album up. And I went and listened. Like, I'm aware of dude, but he was never on my radar. And I listened to it once or twice, and I said, okay, he's cool. But I don't know what made me switch this time. I don't know what made me go back or go to this album and really listen and really absorb everything he's saying. And every single word, I kid you not, it means something. Like, everything pieces together. There's no silly punchlines. There's no wasted bars. There's no wasted anything. It's just a great piece of work. And like I said, like, he's like a spoken word MC. The beat really plays the background. It complements him well, but it plays the background to what he's saying. And you know, sometimes MCs, like a beat will get me first, and then the rapper, or you know, whether that's Primo or Pete Rock, like the music grabs me first. The music is the first thing you hear most of the time before the MC even raps. But for this, the beats, I never tripped off them. I never tripped off the beats. I paid attention to everything he was saying, and every word, because I think every single word means something. And I think this is a great album, different from every album that's been released this year, like really different. And I think, you know, how maybe later when I'm listening to all the albums that's released, and I say if this is my top 10, I don't want to jump out the window and say this is the best album of the year. I'm not saying that, but I do think this is one of my favorites of the year so far. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but it is one of my favorites, and I think he is somebody that I will go and look at his catalog, because I think I could pick up a lot of things, because he's spitting game. It's a lot of game and a lot of things that if you from where he's from, or you're a grown man. This man is 49 years old, so he's grown, like super grown. He probably has grandkids, you know, and maybe not, but I mean, he might. You know, I think he's the type of MC, along with these other prolific writers. He's old, you know, he's just dope. This album is dope. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm late to the party. I've heard of him. I know of him from back in the day. This was not somebody I was checking on, and that happens from time to time when you're grown and you got kids and you got work. That shit happens from time to time. So I think all in all, great album. Really enjoyed it. We'll be looking for more from his catalog, and please, if I'm missing anything else or any other rappers, please let me know, and I'll, you know, be sure to listen, because there's a lot of dope MCs that fly under the radar sometimes and I'm not able to catch them. So till next time, you guys take care. Peace and love. 100. I'm out.